Tech preparation and tech-taking skills. Things to consider when taking a tech. It is normal to feel anxious before you write the tech. You can manage this anxiety by thinking positive thoughts, imagine yourself doing well on the tech. Making a conscious effort to relax by taking several slow, deep, controlled breaths. Concentrate on the air going in and out of your body. Before you begin the tech, ask questions if you are unsure of anything. Jot down keywords or a phrase from any instruction your teacher gives you. Look over the entire tech to find out the number and the kind of question on the tech. Read each question closely and reread if necessary. Pay closed attention to key vocabulary words. Sometimes these are bold or italicized and they are usually important words in the question. If you are putting your answers on an answer sheet, mark your answers carefully. Always print clearly. If you wish to change an answer, erase the mark completely and then ensure your final answer is darker than the one you have erased. Use highlighting to note directions, keywords, and vocabulary that you find confusing or that are important to answering the question. Double check to make sure you have answered everything before handing in your tech. When taking tech, students often overlook the easy words. Failure to pay close attention to these words can result in an incorrect answer. One way to avoid this is to be aware of these words and to underline, circle, or highlight them while you are taking the tech. Even though some words are easy to understand, they can change the meaning of the entire question, so it is important that you pay attention to them. Here are some examples. Which of the following equations is not considered abiotic? Wind, bacteria, sunlight, precipitation.
Martindale Station. Doors normally open on the right.
Helpful strategies for answering multiple choice questions. A multiple choice question gives you some information and then asks you to select an answer from your choice. Each question has one correct answer. The other answers are distractors which are incorrect. Below are some strategies to help you when answering multiple choice questions. Quickly skim through the entire tech. Find out how many questions there are and plan your time accordingly. Read and reread questions carefully. Underline keywords and try to think of an answer before looking at the choice. If there is a graphic, look at the graphic, read the question, and go back to the graphic. Then you may want to underline the important information from the question. Carefully read the choice. Read the question first, and then each answer that goes with it. When choosing an answer, try to eliminate those choices that are clearly wrong or do not make sense. Some questions may ask you to select the best answer. These questions will always include words like best, most appropriate, or most likely. All of the answers will be correct to some degree, but one of the choices will be better than the others in some way. Carefully read all 4 choices before choosing the answer you think is the best. If you do not know the answer, or if the question does not make sense to you, it is better to guess than to leave it blank. Do not spend too much time on any one question. Make a mark asterisk beside a difficult question and come back to it later. If you are leaving a question to come back to later, make sure you also leave the space on the answer sheet if you are using one. Remember to go back to the difficult questions at the end of the test. Sometimes clues are given throughout the test that will provide you with the answers. Note any negative words like no or not and be sure your choice fits the question. Before changing an answer, be sure you have a very good reason to do so. Do not look for patterns on your answer sheet if you are using one. Helpful strategies for answering open response questions. A written response requires you to respond to a question or directive such as explain, predict, list, describe, show your work, solve, or calculate. In preparing for open response task, you may wish to read and reread the question carefully, recognize and pay close attention to directing words such as explain, show your work, and describe. Underline keywords and the phrase that indicate what is required in your answer, such as explain, estimate, answer, calculate, or show your work. Write down rough point form notes regarding the information you want to include in your answer. Think about what you want to say and organize information and ideas in a coherent and concise manner within the time limit you have for the question. Be sure to answer every part of the question that is asked. Include as much information as you can when you are asked to explain your thinking. Include a picture or diagram if it will help to explain your thinking. Try to put your final answer to a problem in a complete sentence to be sure it is reasonable. Reread your response to ensure you have answered the question. Think, does your answer make sense? Listen, does it sound right? Use appropriate subject, vocabulary, and terms in your response. About science tech. What do you need to know about science tech? To do well on a science tech, you need to understand and apply your knowledge of scientific concept. Reading skills can also make a difference in how well you perform. Reading skills can help you follow instructions and find keywords, as well as read a graph, diagram, and a table. Science tests usually have two types of questions, knowledge question and skill question. Knowledge question tech for your understanding of science ideas, skill question tech, how you would use your science knowledge. How you can prepare for science tech. Below are some strategies that are particular to preparing for and writing science tech. Note-taking is a good way to review and study important information from your class note and the textbook. Sketch a picture of the process or idea being described in a question. Drawing is helpful for learning and remembering concept. Check your answer to practice question. They require formula by working backward to the beginning. You can find the beginning by going step by step in reverse order. When answering question with graphic, picture, diagram, table, or graph, read the test question carefully. Read the title of the graphic and any keyword. Read the test question carefully to figure out what information you need to find in the graphic. Go back to the graphic to find the information you need. Always pay close attention when pressing the keys on your calculator. Repeat the procedure a second time to be sure you pressed the correct keys. Test prep countdown. If you develop a plan for studying and a test prep, you will perform well on the tech. Here is a general plan to follow 7 days before you write a tech. Countdown 7 days before the tech. Use finding out about the tech to help you make your own personal tech prep plan. Review the following information: areas to be included on the tech, types of test, items, general and specific test tip. Start preparing for the tech at least 7 days before the tech. Develop your test preparation plan and set time aside to prepare and study. Countdown 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 days before the tech. Review old homework assignment, quiz, and the tech. Rework problem and quiz and the tech to make sure you still know how to solve them. Correct any errors made on quiz and the tech. Review key concept, process, formula, and vocabulary. Create practice tech question for yourself and then answer them. Work out many sample problems. Countdown the night before the tech. The night before the tech is for final preparation, which includes reviewing and gathering material needed for the tech before going to bed. Most important is getting a good night's rest and knowing you have done everything possible to do well on the tech. Tech day, eat a healthy and nutritious breakfast, ensure you have all the necessary materials, think positive thoughts: I can do this, I am ready, I know I can do well. Arrive at your school early so you are not rushing, which can cause you anxiety and stress.
The next stop is Marlborough Station.
Summary of how to be successful during a tech. You may find some of the following strategy useful for writing a tech. Take 2 or 3 deep breaths to help you relax. Read the direction carefully and underline, circle, or highlight any important word. Look over the entire test to understand what will you need to do, budget your time, begin with an easy question or a question you know you can answer correctly rather than following the numerical question order of the test. If you cannot remember how to answer a question, try repeating the deep breathing and physical relaxation activity first, then move on to visualization and a positive self-talk to get yourself going. When answering a question with graphic, picture, diagram, table, or graph, look at the question carefully. Read the title of the graphic and any keyword. Read the question to figure out what information you needed to find in the graphic. Go back to the graphic to find the information you need. Write down anything you remember about the subject on the reverse side of your paper. This activity sometimes helps to remind you that you do know something and you are capable of writing the down. Look over your test when you have finished and double check your answers to be sure you did not forget anything. Thank you for joining me on this tutor session regarding school.